Hello, this is Jose, and this is the Cinematic Dogma podcast. I'm joined by my almost best friend, Blake.
I'm thrilled to be here with my almost best friend Jose, apparently.
Yeah, and what did we actually watch today in this very special edition?
We watched an almost movie,
mean-
almost famous.
I mean, the movie is a movie, it's not even like an almost one. But yeah, almost famous. What year was this released in?
I think this was like 1999, like at the very
Yeah.
end of the millennium.
Yeah. So while other directors were doing Fight Club, this director was doing Almost Famous.
And it was Cameron Crowe, right?
Cameron Crowe, yeah, sounds about right.
2000, the year 2000.
Yeah. So why did we watch this? Because this was your pick.
I know exactly why I picked this film, and you're not going to like it. I watch a lot of YouTube, and I'm not ashamed by it at all. I'm fascinated by the YouTube algorithm, and for whatever reason, my YouTube algorithm started to show me a lot of Kate Hudson content. I have no idea why. So I started to watch some of it. It wasn't great, but I like her, and she was recently in...
Oh yeah, she was in a show on Netflix, like Point or
The-
Sidelines or something like that. It was
Oh,
like-
she's in that new series
Yeah.
about the basketball.
yeah, it's almost like a mixture between like Ted Lasso and Succession.
Yes, but she was also in that Who Done It series that's super big right
Knives
now.
Out?
Yes, she's in the Knives Out sequel with Ed Norton that
Oh
everybody
yeah,
fucking
yeah,
loved.
that's right, yeah.
So she's kind of having a resurgence, but I saw Almost Famous one time, like 20 years ago. My brother-in-law, who I've mentioned many times on this podcast, 25 years ago or so, he mentioned this as one of his favorite films of all time. I wanted to see it as a
Adults.
middle-aged adult
Sure.
and revisit it. That's why we watched it.
Yeah, and I guess that as this was your pick, I guess I have to summarize it.
Yes, please.
We watched this a couple of weeks ago, so let's see if I can do like a brief summary of it. But basically, this movie follows the life of a young kid that he's, 12, 11 at the beginning of the
15.
movie? Or at the beginning, he's 12, I think.
Yeah,
But he's
I know,
like
the
very
opening.
grown up for his age, and also because his mother, that is Frances McDormand. I was going to say Frances McElroy, but no, Frances McDormand. She decided that he was very mature for his age, and he actually just changed him by 3 years. So then we have like a time skip to when he is in high school and he's 15. But he's like with the same class as senior, so 18 years old. And he's super interested into rock music because his sister was into it.
Zoe Deschanel.
Zoe Deschanel.
Zoe
Yeah.
Deschanel.
And he goes to a concert in San Diego, that is where he lives, from Stillwater. And he works for a magazine. He has like a mentor in Philip Seymour Hoffman. And then he connects really well with this band that is called Stillwater, I think.
Stillwater, which
Yeah.
is an amalgamation of a number of real bands that existed.
Yeah, that it is the second time that I watch it, and it always throws me off about like, that has to be a real band. Because I could believe like a late 70s band being called that. So he lands a gig with the Rolling Stones for just making a documentary or, like an article.
I'm going to
with
be
them.
a nitpicker here and say he doesn't land a gig with the Rolling Stones. He lands a gig with Rolling Stone.
Sorry, yeah, no, you're right. You're right.
It's just an important distinction
No.
here.
It is because every single time that I think about the magazine, I always think, does it belong to Mike Jagger? But it's not. It's not. It's only named like the Bob Dylan song, like a Rolling Stone. I think that's Bob Dylan.
Yeah.
Is Bob Dylan?
I don't know anything about Bob Dylan, so I don't know about that, but I think so. I was raised Mormon, and there's a very famous Mormon book about a Rolling Stone. So anyway,
Inspired by Bob Dylan too. So the thing is that he starts traveling with them in order Francis McDormand. She's like really protective with him about like, hey, don't waste your life going with men of this depravity.
Very protective, but I want to throw in the fact that she is a feminist professor intellectual who doesn't believe in coddling her children and setting them free into the world.
Yep. And he befriends this group of groupies.
The Band-Aids.
The Band-Aids, that they are like lead by Kate Hudson, no?
Yep.
And her character name is Penny.
Penny, what is her last name?
I don't remember.
Keep going. I'll look
Yeah. But they start
Penny
like,
Hearts? No,
that's a different one.
Penny Lane.
Yeah, like a song from the Beatles, I think. Yeah. So, but in any case, is that they start traveling, like touring around the States. Is that this is not like such a big band, and they have like the classic like conflicts between them. Like the guitarist, he thinks that he's the biggest star, and everyone has to put up like with whatever he says. Then more stuff happens. He follows with them. He tries, always promising that he's going to be delivering the article, but they don't want to record because of they don't want to interview with him. We discovered this a little because of fear of coming across as frauds or not that important as they think they are. That's pretty much it. It's a coming of age story. There are like some revelations towards the end, but I think that covers it. Oh, it has what is the name of that late night guy, Jay Leno?
Oh, no. Jimmy Fallon.
Jimmy Fallon. Yeah, in a very weird manager role. It's weird for me because it's like his persona is so overexcited, and this guy is more calm than what I expect him. So it took me like a while to realize, oh, that's Jimmy Fallon? Okay, I guess.
It's funny because in this YouTube content of Kate Hudson, I've been rewatching. Some of it's been on the Jimmy Fallon late night show.
Oh, nice.
And Kate Hudson's still a movie star in her own right. And Jimmy Fallon kind of butts in. He's like, well, I was in that movie too. And everyone's like, what? Yeah, I was in that movie. Like, nobody believes him. And even watching that film recently, I'm like, nah, you weren't really in that film.
No, it's not here. Yeah. But basically, yeah. Even so, with him, there is a bit of a resolution there. There is an attempted suicide, whatever. There is some other stuff. I don't know if it's worth it to get into the details. Just like a coming of age with the background or the backdrop of 70s rocks.
I would argue that you've probably reached the limit of where you can go in terms of a synopsis. There are a few things I would add. Mostly that this is autobiographical, so the main character, and I'm not going to get any of the character names correct, but the main character, the kid, let's call him Kid, is supposed to be Cameron Crowe, who is a child genius as a writer, who at 15 was offered this insane gig to go travel with these like rock and roll bands in the 70s.
Oh, wow.
And was sent by his intellectual feminist mother to go and travel as a roadie with these like insane bands doing a shit ton of acid and writing about these shows.
Was he a teenager too?
Yes, he was. He was 15. And having this insane genius as a writer and trying to write about these cultural phenomena that are happening while not understanding what's happening, both in terms of just being an adult, but also the sexual revolution and not even having the interpersonal skills to understand
what is
being
happening
manipulated
there.
Or what fame is or what true friendship is. Or I find that all fascinating. But back to your synopsis. I liked this film, but where it succeeds is not as this big overarching story arc. Mm-hmm. It's episodic, like an album. Yep. It's like like these individual songs. It's like,
so it's like high fidelity.
It is kind of. For me, it works.
Yeah.
It's like these little stories. Like
they're vignettes.
They're vignettes. There's this story where the the band that's at the heart of the story is Stillwater. The lead singer, Billy Crudup, who, my God, I don't know what he stirred in my loins, but him as a 70s rock star singer really works for me. But he's too big for the band, and he kind of goes off on his own, and the writer follows him, and he goes and kind of parties at this house party of normal people, and he takes a ton of acid, and he ends up kind of like jumping off the roof of a building into a pool, and there's something so interesting about this party scene. Nothing remarkable happens, but like the scene is cool and interesting.
No, it's endearing. I think that's the feeling that we felt when we finished watching the movie, is that all of this felt heartfelt. You know, it's not like heartfelt like a Sean Baker movie, as we talked about an hour not too long ago, but it's heartfelt in a way that cinema doesn't get made that much. It feels more honest, but also at the same time not honest like raw. More like honest about, I'm going to be entertaining you and maybe changing a bit things to make it more palatable, but at the same time is heartfelt. It's like how, spoiler alert, Kate Hudson tries to commit suicide, and then like those scenes where they meet each other, like the guitar player, the guitarist, and the kid. I felt it was like, oh, you know, it's like this is touching some chords. It feels like, yeah, and definitely sounds like it shows like what you were saying about this is a very personal experience.
Yeah, and somehow the sum is greater. The sum of the parts is greater than the whole. So like it doesn't make sense in the way that what won the greatest picture that we love so much this year?
Citizen Kane. Anora.
Not Citizen Kane. We're not.
I don't know. Like you only.
But
Anora
like worked as a whole, right? But like this film works in these little vignettes.
It's the other way around. Yeah.
Yes, and I don't know why, and I'd have to sit and examine.
No, because the cast is really good. The script is fairly decent, and that's what we were like thinking about. Like, hey, the script is way better than it should.
But you could see, right, that the writer, Cameron Crowe, who's the director, it would make sense that he writes articles better than he would write a novel. Like, I don't want to read a 600-page Tolstoy novel like from this dude. No, but like a 2,000-word Rolling Stone article, absolutely. Like, tell me, if he follows Bjork around for a European leg of a tour, I want to read about that. But, like, let's not examine anything deeper than rock and roll from Cameron Crowe.
No, that's completely fair. Yeah, and I think that it translates pretty good. And the funny thing is that we have been like talking a lot, well, not a lot, but a little like that, minutes about the movie, and we barely talk about the role of Kate Hudson. And she's supposed to be, I could say, that the titular character. I don't think that it's about her. I think that it's about the kid. But it's like she's the main icon of the movie. Like this groupie role that it doesn't exist anymore.
Well, let me say that personally, I feel like I would be good friends with Kate Hudson. I feel like
with her character.
With
her?
Yes, I think we would get along.
Oh.
And I think she's well cast in this role. That being said, I think there's limits to her acting skills, and I think there's limits to even the way her character specifically is written.
That's fair. Yeah.
And I think she was very lucky to have this role, and without this role, she wouldn't have a career.
Fair. I think. Well, that's fair. Let's just look at her. I think that from an acting perspective, the only person that gives it all and it shows is Frances McDormand. Because she's amazing. She's only in 5 scenes and she's really good.
Yeah.
She turns the movie into something else. She turns it into another movie that I really desperately want to watch.
It's very interesting watching the very few scenes she has with Billy Crudup because
the contrast between the characters,
Billy Crudup, like he becomes a different person around her, and it's like oil and water all of a sudden.
Yeah. Yeah,
she's really good.
Yep.
Really, really good.
And she won an Oscar. She was nominated for this. because it's like I was watching it with my boyfriend and I said like, hey, I think that this movie should have won for a script and something else, and I guess both of them.
I have no idea what this film won, to be honest.
Yeah, but it won for a script. That is that. This is a pretty surprisingly decent script.
It did win for script?
I think so.
It got a ton of nominations, but I honestly...
And I think that is Frances McDormand. No. She was nominated. I don't know if it was music then.
I have to say that the music is so good.
Yep.
It's so good.
It's amazingly well picked.
How did you feel about the music? Because in my opinion, you have very good taste in music, but a lot of this was deeply American and deeply 70s American.
No, but I think that it was still like pretty well captured in that time, in music. Isn't it there? Yes. Sorry, we're debugging this.
Yeah, show me on the IMDb.
Here it is. Women Oscar. No, it was only for the script, but
one?
Yeah.
But it was nominated for Best
Okay,
Actress.
Hudson was nominated too.
For Kate Hudson.
Yep, and Best Writing.
For Supporting. Frances for Best Actress. Cameron Crowe for Best Writing. And Best Film Editing.
Yep.
Interesting.
No, but no, the script I think that is what these movies is how long is it? Close to 2 hours?
I do think it was right around 2 hours.
Yeah. But
and how
it
did it feel to you?
It fucking flew by.
Yeah, it's entertaining, right?
Yeah, it's super entertaining. It's not a movie that it tries to change your life. It's just entertaining, coming of age kind of a story. And I feel like there is like a lot of merit on doing that.
And Kate Hudson was never mentioned at the Academy Awards ever again.
And it makes sense. Just to be honest, because she was like a great casting.
She was lucky to be cast.
Yeah.
In this film that was perfect for her.
Yeah. Should we go over the questions?
Yes, let's do it. So, Jose, would you watch Almost Famous again?
I think so. Not tomorrow, but I will watch it in 6 months, easily. And I will watch it again with my boyfriend because he's from the San Diego area. And he was telling me, I know that place. I was like, that would be cool to see those places, and then watching this movie again and trying to see, did they actually capture the 70s feeling?
Oh, that's fun, actually.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how much of it took place in San Diego, to be honest.
Well, because they only spent the first act in San Diego,
really?
And then travel around.
So I would also watch this again. I only saw this film one other time. I was in my early 20s. I don't remember liking or disliking it very much. This time, I liked it quite a bit.
It's funny that you say that because I only watched it one more time, and it was this was 99, probably in 2005 or so. I didn't watch it right away. But it was a fairly famous movie, but it was famous, but not like, oh my god, this is the best movie that I ever watched. It was famous as it was good. It was almost famous in itself.
Kind of an underdog at the Oscars, right?
Yeah, probably the almost indie darling, because this is not like indie movie, but an almost indie movie, So when I watched it, I remember just liking it, and when you mentioned it, we'll watch it again, but I don't have high hopes for it.
So would you recommend this film?
I think so. I think that it's a very easy watch. It's not going to be changing your life, but it's entertaining.
I would recommend this. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, but I think that if someone tells me about I want to watch a movie about music, this and High Fidelity will be the first two that they come to my mind, and then biopics. But it's come on. It's I prefer to recommend this before Bohemian Rhapsody.
What was that Natalie Portman film?
No. Black Swan?
No, the one she did after that, where she played...
Oh, Io Lux?
Yes. That's the one I would recommend. No, I'm just joking.
Okay.
No, it's interesting when you said if someone asked you a film about music, because this is not the film that would come to mind, but I respect that.
Yeah.
Okay, so would you remember this film? So I answered this, and I know what my answer is.
My answer is no. I have forgotten the whole movie. I only knew that it was about groupies But honestly, after watching it right now, my idea is that it's not about groupies. It's about like a kid that grew up so fast and is trying to find his place.
Yeah, my answer is no. I had forgotten everything.
Yeah.
Everything, and like I said and you said, this is very episodic. It's based on vignettes. It's not meant to be remembered as like this entire story. It's just like
It's a trip that you take, and then you're at your destination 2 hours later.
Is there anything artistic about this?
I think so. I think that the music is fairly decent, not only about like the soundtrack, but also like the music that they created for the band. It's like, it's fine. This could be like 70s music.
Yeah, I agree. I think they nailed something about the culture of that 70s rock and roll moment that I...
Yep. Yeah, that rock stars were like the 80s.
Yep. Is this a timeless piece?
I mean, it's from 99. I go have been shot last year. I think that this is more 70s than Licorice Pizza.
Ooh. Interesting. Yeah, I agree with that. Would you turn this into a TV show?
That's an interesting question. I think I would. I think that it could work. I mean, because from the perspective of the series of vignettes, is that you don't have to make everything as a single sitting. I think that you can make it work. It's true that it's like the change is a bit more gradual about like how he gets the flower and other stuff. That is like these episodes, these vignettes, is that they have a gradual change on him until where he lands. But I don't know. I mean, having more time on that universe would give me more time with Francis McDormand. And I would love that.
Which is the goal of all of us.
Yes. Spending time with Francis McDormand.
I don't know what my answer is. I guess I would say... I'm ambivalent. I'm going to say no, but I'm fine with yes being the answer. I could see how this could be a TV show.
No, that makes sense. Anything else?
Could this have been a short?
I don't think so. I think that you need to spend time with these characters, like with the kids and the band, and just seeing like the contrast between his pure passion and, I don't know, like a bit of, not really jaded, but a bit more like the interest of, hey, we want to become superstars.
I agree. I'm completely buying into a theory that you have to consume this movie like you would consume an album. And if you have to consume this like an album, you can't just consume the 30 seconds that's available on iTunes, or at least used to be available on iTunes.
Okay.
So no, you have to consume the entire...
No, that's fair. Yeah.
So, do you think this movie could have been a short?
No, we already with that.
Sorry,
do you think this movie could have been better?
Could have been better, yes.
I don't think so. I think that this is one of those weird movies that all of the elements landed surprisingly well.
Yeah, I think this movie is exactly what it wanted to be.
Yep.
So if you didn't like what it wanted to be, that's
it's
fine,
your fault.
But
yeah.
it is what it wants to be.
Yeah. Is that this movie is not trying to revolutionize your world or changing anything. It's just about like you're going to have a good time on the street. And I think that it succeeds without any glaring gaps. So
Yep, I completely agree.
Yep. Right. So should we score it?
We should. So this was my pick.
So I should score it first. I'm going to be giving it a 7.5.
7.5. Any explanation behind that score?
No, I think that it's an entertaining movie, but it's like it doesn't change anything. I'm going to forget it. It's just good writing. It has a lot of merit about like just making a movie that is entertaining in 2 hours. That is engaging, and Francis McDormand is amazing, but it doesn't have any kind of lasting power for me. So 7.5 is, I think that is reasonable.
I think that's fair, and I think that if we had reviewed this movie 2 weeks ago when we saw it, I probably would have given it a higher score. But since we've cooled off a little bit, I'm also giving it a 7.5. I think it's a very good film. I think after 25 years this year, it's aged extremely well.
Yep.
I think it has stood the test of time. It's a good film. I don't have any major complaints. I think people should see this film.
Yep.
That being said, it's not La Ventura.
Well, I mean, there are like 2.5 points in between. What I was going to say is that it's an absolutely fine, absolutely correct, absolutely functional film, but there is nothing groundbreaking about it.
That's fair.
Yeah, and from that perspective, I'm glad that we watched it.
Yeah.
And that's as far as I can go. But yeah, anything else to say about Almost Famous?
If you're gay or bi-curious, just go see it for Billy Crudup.
Okay. I didn't know that he was a gay icon. Is he gay?
He woke something up inside me. That's all I'm saying.
Alright, well, to everyone, regardless of what side of the street you walk through, I thank you so much for putting up with us.
And until next time.
Bye.